driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. I'm in a race that everybody's chasing fast. They wanna be that someone on the screen at last. They ain't looking inside for their needs in life. They wanna be liked by everybody in sight. But trust me, being free ain't spotlights. No, it's long nights and it's long fights with yourself all the time to get your mind right. But if you put in the work, you can find the light, alright? I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore, so just don't be ignored. Go ask for more, go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move.
Welcome, our beloved students, mentors, Discord users, or even first-timers who found us through recommendations, because apparently that happens as well. We welcome you on this cold, chilly day and invite you into our cozy and warm stream. Tell us, actually, I have a question for you. Tell us which group you belong to. Are you a Discord member? Are you a student? Or are you just someone who's really invested into animation, wants to do something to it? For those who are here for the first time, AnimationClub School, which is our YouTube channel, is a place dedicated for learning animation and bettering your skills through big things like courses where you can completely level up your skills through mentors who actively work in the industry. For example, in projects like Scavenger's Reign, My Father's Dragon, and also where you can get something more casual, like figure drawing studies once per week on our Discord. What do you call it? Discord hub? Yeah. Actually, for all of you who are interested in starting maybe something new for yourself in this new year, maybe January wasn't the month where you decided to start everything at once. Maybe you want to go gradually. So we have good news for you. We actually still have openings for the upcoming February animation course. To get them at the same price while you can, because the times are changing and prices are slowly rising. So we're trying to push that as much as possible. But I think this is kind of the best window to catch something while it's still as affordable as possible. So if you feel that you like the conversations we'll have later, I think this is the sign to get into the course. Maybe your journey is, starting today or tomorrow on February 14th when the courses start. And on our YouTube channel as well, you can find a lot of different workshops and animation streams where we learn and practice together. You can find a variety of fun topics, whichever you want to do, from feedback sessions from our mentors, where we submit our works for critiques, to insightful tips and tricks, or maybe some tutorials on how to do certain types of animation. Anything you might need to grow in, animation department. In a good way, I think this is also a very good way to see how our mentors act and how to give feedback, like, in action. Basically, you just get a freebie to know how it goes. Hi, Williams. Also, please say hi to all of our students here. Take a blanket, brew yourself some tea, and get comfy. Because also today, since I already introduced the graduates, my head is all over the place. We'll have a very, I think, fun and insightful, for me, conversations with our graduates. Once they were just like me and you, they were only starting out, all fresh and young. And now we have a great chance to learn more about their journeys and experiences and actually listen what finally made them decide to kind of pursue what they're doing now. And I think why they chose our school as a place to kind of grow and learn. So I think that was a long enough intro. I think I talked enough. And I think we can actually go to the fun part. But I want to lay a couple of ground rules before we start. First, please be very nice, respectful, and also be encouraging to all of the students and other people in the chat. If you have any questions, please put the word question in all caps, because I will be in charge of kind of keeping the conversation in the same place, even though I'm not really good at that. I love rambling on, but I'll be collecting all of the questions. So if you have something you want to ask any of the students, our school, courses, or whatever you find fitting, but mostly related to 2D animation, please text it in the chat. And I'll either voice them as soon as I see them, if they're topical enough, and if not, I'll remember them. I'll keep them in my little safekeeping box. And once we'll have a good time to talk about all of the questions that didn't fit into the main course, we'll talk about it. So don't worry if your question isn't voiced right away. I'm still here. I remember about you. And most likely I just kept it away for a better time where we can actually discuss it and give it enough time and attention. So since all the introductions and kind of basic ground rules have been laid out, I think this is the best time to actually go to our graduates. As you see them on the screen, I think I'll give you the floor. I think I had enough talking to introduce yourselves. Let's start with Xenia. Do you want to go first? Oh, and actually, before we give her a chance to speak, we'll see her reel. So let's tune our eyes, tune our ears, say hi to Xenia, and see her reel.
I'm sorry, Sewa. I just don't want to drown. I don't want to drown. I don't want to drown.
So soft. It feels really good against my skin. Go on, give it a feel.
Elmer,
Sewa has forbidden all the animals from going there. But I know where Aratua is.
I can free the island. This is the answer.
If you ever need me.
Yay.
Amazing reel. Yes, I give you the floor. Please do.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ksenia, and I'm a 2D animator, an animation teacher, and a comic artist. I worked on a project such as My Father's Dragon from Cartoon Saloon. It was my dream come true, and I will talk about it later. And also I worked on Unicorns, Internal Warriors by Gendy Tartakovsky. It was also an important project for me. Yeah, I think that's it.
I had no idea you worked on it. Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's it. In my free time, I create my own comics, and yeah, I like dancing, jazz. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's also good. Also, I have to point out that some of the students, some of the people who already been to our Discord server and to our courses, especially after class, might be already familiar with Xenia because she's also our mentor as well. Xenia has been leading our after class sessions. So if you're a student that had met Xenia and you know her and got feedback from her, please write it in the chat. Please write all the compliments and give all the hearts. So, from our first graduate to the second one, Julia. Oh yeah, we have to show the reel first. Give me a minute to set it all up, and then we'll hear a couple of words from you.
I picked this guy up a while back for petty theft. He's got a code name.
Yeah, stay out of the way.
Come on, man. It's an outlaw name.
That was really amazing. I love the cat animations, especially the crying kitty. When I saw it in the reels when we were collecting it, I was like, "This is so cute. This is I want to see like a full movie. I need the story about these two cats." So, Julia, would you like to introduce yourself? Is there anything you want to say before we jump into the main thing?
Oh, thank you so much for the kind words. So yeah, my name is Julia. I graduated from Edward's class around 3 years ago. I'm a BFA4 at CalArts. In my last semester, actually, so graduating soon. I was also an animation intern at Pixar last summer. I love cats. Have a cat back home. I miss him. Yeah, I love to draw and animate cats.
I respect that. That's it's like the kids say, that's a huge W. That's amazing. And last but not the least, the person who I thought for a minute would be too sick to join us, but I'm so excited that we actually got to be here in all of us as I originally planned, is Nat or Air. However you want to introduce yourselves, because a couple of people already have probably seen this person, especially if you had any questions or you needed some help with your 2D animations or you had any software problems. Air was always there to help our Discord users with anything they needed. Well, mostly, in terms of realistic. So let's watch their reel, and then I'll give them a couple of minutes to talk about themselves.
I am the queen. You listen to me.
Yeah, I remember all of these works because we were in the same class with Edward. So it's like so nostalgic seeing all of the kitties and the Cora doing all of the special effects. I remember how we were like developing them at the same time with I was so impressed, crazy impressed. I was like, oh, I need to be friends with that person. They're really cool. So giving you the floor.
Oh, hi everyone. So yeah, I'm Natalia, or Discord users might know me as Air. Air, the technical guy who resolves like T-paint issues and
Yeah, I think people some made even like memes about like thanking you.
yeah. yeah, I'm that guy. So yeah, I'm 2D animator. I graduated like in 2022, I think we graduated.
Yeah, I think at the end of 22.
Yeah, somewhere in autumn. We finished our fourth course. So yeah, I've been working as an animator ever since. Yeah, I like music. I like playing D&D. I like all animals. And I like drawing. Yeah, so that's pretty much
Very
it.
valid. Good. So, since all introductions have already happened, you got familiar with all the people who are going to be here today. And I mean, you already know me. I'm Kata. I'm a student of Animation School. I don't have a reel because I'm not going to talk a lot today. Will mostly be asking questions. So, now I think this is a great time to jump into the main fray. Let's start with a topic that would be concerning like I'd say, what led you to pursue 2D animation? Were there kind of special events, people, works that influenced you? Is there something like when you started on the journey, something was like really important for you? You saw like a beautiful animated film and you thought, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, no matter how hard it is. And yeah, how basically you chose animation. If you'd like to, I'd like Ksenia to go first, and then we'll go with our usual order. But if any of you have something to add, and if you have some questions you want to ask, feel free.
Yeah, I have a great answer. My mother loves that I choose to be an animator because I didn't want to be an accountant, and I helped a lot. My mother, she's an accountant, and her work for me was so boring, and I wanted to choose a more interesting job. And I always liked watching cartoons, and I think the important part that I like cartoons, but also I really want to know how people create this.
How it's done. I understand.
I think this is the important thing. Yeah, because I started to research on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I found beautiful animations, for example, from James Baxter, and also from Ryan Woodward. It was short cartoon The name of it was A Thought of You. And yeah,
Yes.
I was struck by this cartoon. And yeah, now I'm an animator. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Julia, do you have any creative journey, like special moments you want to share? I would guess Warrior Cats, but that's only a guess.
Oh, that's a great guess, though. It's really in the community. It's still in. But for me,
cool.
for me, I would always say, even back in elementary school, that I want to be an animator, but I haven't actually like animated until my first year at Go Arts. And I think, yeah, that's when I thought that I found it very fun. I wanted to get better at it. Yeah, and yeah, I saw James Baxter's work, of course, and also Spencer Wan. I think looking at his work really made me go like, oh yeah, this looks very fun. I wanna do something like that someday. Yeah.
Very understandable. Yeah. Any no. All good. All good. And Nat, do you want to share anything that basically led you to your creative 2D journey?
Oh boy. I think
Oh, I
everyone
saw
who,
that smirk. Yeah.
yeah, everyone who knows me like hates this story because yeah, I'm that guy who entered to the animation just walking into the studio.
Just like backwards.
Yeah, everything backwards. I just walked into the animation studio and asked for a job, being actually an IT guy at the time. And funny enough, I got in. It was like purely anecdotal. It was pure an accident that they were understaffed at the time, and I only had my sketchbook with me. So yeah, and essentially that studio taught me everything. And I worked with them like for 4 years. Then I moved towns several times, and yeah, I had to work on like smaller projects. Then I decided that yeah, I had to like develop professionally, so I got into courses, and here we are. So yeah,
Awesome. Amazing.
just an anecdote. Yep.
Well, I mean, just an anecdote, but I part of why I specifically called you for the thing because you have a very unique background in animation, kind of not typical. And I think the more people with different perspectives we bring to to the table, I think that gives you like a bigger view on the whole picture, how you can enter, what types of jobs you can have, like that animation is like so big and so varied. There's so much stuff you can do. So I wanted to kind of have some unique anecdotes like these. Do you have any specific inspirations you want to share, or maybe like a favorite kind of movie or like a short film?
Oh boy, I enjoy all the art of Tim Burton. I was a big fan when I was a teenager. Me and my friend, we had like a shrine to Tim Burton. So yeah, I think one of the most influential for me was Tim Burton. Maybe not in terms of animation because he's like this
stop
doll.
motion
stuff,
yeah.
But in terms
style,
of
aesthetics,
style,
the
yeah.
graphics of it. Yes, I get it. I completely get it. Well, tell me, Ksenia, Julia, and Nat, how did you find the school? Were there on the journey, on the beginning of your animation journey or the middle, depending on where you entered the school? Because as you heard, we have different stories here. Did you have any doubts or second thoughts before joining the school? Was there anything that made you think like, I don't know if it's worth a try? And basically what, made you go, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to at least try it. Let's see what comes up for it. So if you're okay, Xenia, I'd like you to answer first.
I think I knew about this school since the beginning, when there just was a club, and I really want to go there, but also I didn't have money for it, and also I thought we have so many information on the internet, and maybe I can learn by my own. And I started to create like small animation in my free time. And I thought maybe it's a good way to learn. And it was like this at the beginning, but it was hard to understand what my mistakes are and how to check them, how to improve my animation. And I started to think that no, I need to go to these courses. And I saw one animation from one student, and I was stuck by this animation, and I thought, yeah, I just need to go there. Yeah.
Which was it? What did you see? I mean, you probably don't remember the person, but maybe you
I
remember.
remember, it's my friend. It's Valeria Lian.
Uh-huh.
Don't you?
I don't remember
like,
her specifically, but
animation
like,
with torture.
ah.
Yeah, and
Well, I can always add the link in the description if we want to see the inspiration. So if you don't like
she's
remember what it
very
was,
talented. Yeah, and yeah, she inspired me to go to these courses because she was a student there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who actually got into the school because they saw a couple of good like demo reels from students, and it was like, wow, I want to do that too.
Yeah, also remember that also I met with Edward. He came to St. Petersburg, and I showed him my small animations, and he agreed to get me to the second class. And I was like, okay. Yeah,
That's
I will
nice.
go. I will go.
That's nice. Amazing. On the terms of, you said a very important thing that you practice a lot. And I know that you practice a lot. And I think practice is one of the kind of the cornerstones of building kind of a solid skill. But also you said very importantly that you couldn't check for mistakes on yourself, like because you see you have enough skill to create the animation, but you don't have the extra kind of knowledge to know what you're doing wrong. So I think that's also very important in terms of mentorship and courses, that like getting that feedback, especially if it's personalized for you, because sometimes teachers will see what you're especially good at, what's your specialty, and where you're like lacking. So they'll double down on the parts where you don't kind of keep up, so you'll know what you need to progress on. So Julia, can you share with us what led you to the school? Did you have any doubts before joining? Anything you want to, basically.
Oh, it's actually crazy that what Xenia was talking, because I was also inspired by Valeria's work. I remember the turtles, but I was also inspired by Xenia's work. I think that was like the most for me. That was like, yeah, this is so inspiring. I really want to take the course.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I like after my first year is when I decided I want to go into animating, and then there was a COVID, and I took a gap year, and I decided, well, since I'm taking a gap year, it's a like an opportunity to learn more animation. And like to be honest, CalArts is not the best for like specifically 2D animation. It's more like for the storyboard, biz dev, directing. So I was like, I don't remember how I found the course. Well, yeah, I just I just remember like all the work.
That happens.
Yeah. So I think I don't think I had any doubts.
You jumped straight in.
Yeah, and
amazing. Yeah.
I love Edward's work as well. So I was like, oh, that's a great opportunity.
True, true. I was also a fan of Edward since I was like a teen. I remember I was subscribed. He had like a little blog and I was like, oh, this is so amazing. And then I forgot of him for a couple of years. Then he had like a short film of the monkeys I was super impressed by. And then it clicked. He was the guy I was subscribed to for so long. And then I go to his page and he's like, I have courses open. And I'm like, what? And I immediately went. So I get it. I get it. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Some people do have doubts. Some people jump right away. That's true. Nat, please share. Do you have any particular experiences?
In enrolling, essentially, I was monitoring this group on social media, group of our school. Because like at some point I understood that I was a cleanup animator for a long time, like first 6 years of my career, it was all cleanup, shading, all this stuff. So no brain only do. And I understood that, yeah, I need to develop, or we are at a dead end here. So I was looking at those courses for a long time before I had enough money and free time to enroll. And yeah, it was kind of very waited out decision.
Yeah, also good. I actually have a funny story with because I'll add a little bit. I know I'm not a speaking graduate, but I think I have a very kind of funny story with the school. Actually, the first time I met the school was in 2019 when they had, I think, some storyboarding classes. And I initially wanted to go because I thought I was like the very best. And I wanted to go to the second course, like initially. And they said no. And I was so angry and so pissed. And I didn't go. And the next time I only went back into the school and I forgot about the school completely. Like I was like, oh, yeah, well, it's not worth my time if they don't let me go to the second course. I was like so prideful. Like, yes, I was like that. And then I think I joined the school in 2021 and like maybe summer 2021. And then it clicked with me again. It's like a pattern. I do something a couple of years ago, I forget about it, and then I come back to it, and turns out like I left a mark. And basically, I already had a profile and everything from 2019. So I hope none of the school staff actually see this and kind of put the dots together because I was quite problematic when I started. And I remember like a lot of doubts. Like I didn't have like a lot of money at the time, and that was also the reason. And Xenia also added this that they started the course too. That I was doing a different course. It was still kind of drawing related, but still, I also wanted to skip the first to not kind of spend money. But turns out getting all of the basics and foundations is very important when you're starting out. Even if you have enough drawing skills, sometimes getting like these like terminology right and the feel for it sometimes is also very important. So I agree with all of these. I like that there's some people who jump straight away. I think I had basically both. I went away and then jumped straight away after.
It's funny.
wanna-
It's funny because when I start to teach, I get access to the first class, which I miss, and I just was so glad to gather this information and learn from the first class. Yeah. And I think, yeah, it's important to talk about it that you actually, the first class is very important and very useful.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably the
And
most
also,
important.
yeah, probably. In terms of getting everything kind of set up for the future to understand how everything's going to go, I think the first class is very important. And also, it's okay if you went like out with a scandal, you can always turn back and no one's going to judge you like no one judged me. Look where I'm sitting right now. Who knew? So
Everyone is
since
judging you.
now these won't judge me. They don't have a choice. They're stuck with me. So, well, could you talk a bit more about your school experience? What you noted for yourself? Was there anything special, any principles you've learned during the school, or maybe something about the way you were taught you remember still? Are there any lessons or things you kind of still remember while working on these new projects and being in the industry? maybe there's like some specific epiphany that happened while you were learning that you kind of still remember today. Who would like to share?
I want to share that I learned that it never will be perfect, your animation, because you really want it to be perfect and always look at your animation, and you will always see these mistakes and something new that you want to develop. You want to make better, but it never will be perfect as you want to.
Yes.
And you need to just finish it and go to another scene, go to work with another scene. And now I really want to inspire my students to do like this. You just need to finish it.
Exactly. Just finish it. Just get it done with. Yeah, I agree.
Because
Julia.
you always, sorry. You
No,
always
you're good.
learn something new, and you will grow every day. And it's not like you have a finish line. Yeah.
Maybe like until we die. Maybe that's the finish line, but who knows? Maybe we'll get digitized and we'll work as animators like till the end of time. Julia, do you have any thoughts about the question? Were there any special lessons you've learned?
Oh yeah, I totally agree with Xenia. Actually, like, and it's actually something I still struggle with, like the perfect. Sorry, cat.
Okay.
But yeah, like it'll never be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. But I still struggle and like can put myself down for that. But I think it's just about like finding the fun in it. I'm really like striving towards that. And also not comparing. It's just constant. But from like the course, I actually wish I did take it from the very first class. But I thought that I did get into the second class first because I thought that, oh yeah, we did the basics at co-arts. But I think with the amount of feedback you get during the course, I really wish I started from the first. But I still got to go through like the basics. And Edward's feedback was fantastic and super helpful. And just I love that it was so detailed, and we got like 20 minutes each to get through.
Yeah. Some of those feedback sessions go for like 4 hours.
I know. It's great.
Yeah, that's great because they allow you to sit through the whole 4 hours. So if you want to listen, get some 4 hours of feedback. I think also that it's also very useful, especially in year one, because it's kind of the challenges are not as hard as in year 2 or 3. And most of the people get more or less, they do more or less the same mistakes. I wouldn't say they get the same feedback, but basically the stuff you did wrong on the first year, when you look at other people's works, you kind of recognize, oh yeah, that's right. I didn't do like these arcs here as well, or I didn't do an overshoot here like I was supposed to. Well, I mean, not supposed to, but it would look a lot better if it was there. So I think sitting through the whole kind of sessions, I force myself to sometimes because I get too tired. I think that's also very important because you just basically get this like the feedback you got, but like for 4 hours. It really drills into your brain.
Yeah. And I also agree about finishing. I still struggle with like finishing. I'm like, oh man, well, I'll just move on to another one. I want it to be better. But yeah, it's your finishing is very important.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I completely agree. Nat, would you like to add something?
Well, mine would be like build up on the previous points. I think during the course, especially like first 2 courses, they were like life-changing. I kind of crystallized that philosophy of seeing mistakes as like steps on the way to like skill. And probably the most important lesson of this all is not to be afraid to make mistakes. Maybe not even like not to be afraid, specifically make mistakes when you are doing something new, because if you are in this situation, you're on the course, you have your teacher with you, you have your live sessions with you, like do those mistakes, like do something new. You'll be corrected, nobody will judge you, and you will learn something through that. So yeah, it was like crystallization of this philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. And also sometimes people who are on the call, who are watching as well, can be like, they could go for like a coffee, or they'll be too tired and be just listening to the feedback. So don't worry if something looks bad. I had that a couple of times. I was like kind of even a little bit kind of afraid to show my work to everyone. So like everyone is gonna look and everyone's gonna judge. No, first of all, a couple of people are definitely like in the toilet. A couple of people are like there. The most important person who's gonna look at your work is your mentor. Like whoever it is on whichever course you go, like either Edward, Maor, Andre, Xenia, like they're the important people who you need to show the work to. The rest of the people, they're in the same boat as you. Sometimes they'd be even sinking more than you and don't show it. So like you can be nice to other people, encouraging, and like mostly either don't notice or like be encouraging. Yeah.
And your mentor definitely does not judge you, because like it's normal to make mistakes, guys. Just do that.
Yeah, I remember when I was young and I was like only started drawing and everything, I was like kind of scared to show people who are more like knowledgeable my work. But now, from being on the other side of the spectrum, I wouldn't say like I'm a complete like maestro or something, but I have people who are like much younger than me who are like show my work, and I'm ecstatic. I love seeing people like draw, animate when they're starting on their journeys. I think that's like it's not, I wouldn't say the most fun part of it. It's all kind of fun, but in different ways. And when you're only starting and like going through these first steps, you're starting to learn, kind of get the grasp of everything. I think that's also like very important. I think it's like when childhood, when you're like a toddler, everything's new, everything's fun. There's like so much stuff going on.
I'm always amazed how my students grow, and it's always a joy to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We actually have a couple of questions that I'll ask later, and we have one question from Paul that I think would be good to answer now. How many classes we have in a week? Do any of you want to answer the question? Because I can do that, but I would give you the floor if you want to.
One class in a week.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, but this class can be 4 hours, or it can be. It depends on students, how many students. But it's usually maybe 1 or 2 hours. Yeah.
To give you a little bit of context, basically you work on your shot, your assignment throughout the week, and then you have one special day when you upload the work. You go with all of the students through all of the works, and you basically get feedback that's going to be recorded. So if you can't see it live, you can always see it in a recording. That's also as good. Plus, you get lectures on the on the school campus. You get to watch something topical on the week. So example, if you're working on lip syncing or character acting, there's going to be a lecture on how to do good lip syncing, or how to do like, for example, subtle movements and stuff that's going to be helpful in the creation of your shot. But the class is going to be once per week, even though it's kind of long. So it could be like 2 small classes.
But also you can ask your teacher after the lesson. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, that's true. There's some people who are kind of shy to ask, but I think asking is like never a crime. If the person is busy, they're just gonna say they're busy. I've had people who were who said no to some additional feedback. And I had teachers who were like, oh, yeah, sure, send something during the week. Like, I'm free this week, so I'm open to giving you some extra, basically like extra credit, extra feedback.
Yeah, I always like to give extra feedback to students who are willing to do extra work, for example, who I see that they are inspiring by it and they want to do more, they want to be better, and it's also inspiring for me, and yeah, it's how it works.
Yeah, I completely agree. Exactly. Anything to add before we move to what you did after graduating the school? Nope. All good. As you can see, all the reviews are incredibly positive. So, from the time of the school, you went through 3, or some of us went through 4 classes, went through the creating of the short film, and then you moved on. What happened after you graduated the school? Were there any projects you personally feel proud of? Maybe you met some challenges that some knowledge from being in the school helped you resolve, like, or do you have like a story you can share on something that you feel is important for your animation journey? Giving anyone the floor who wants to. I know we have an order, but whoever wants to take an answer.
Yeah, when I graduated, I started looking for a job, and I really wanted to, it was my dream to work for Cartoon Saloon Studio, but I was so afraid to just send them my resume and demo reel. Yeah, but my friends encouraged me to do so, and I'm so happy that I did that. And after several times, I got a message from them, and after 6 months, I got a job. Yeah, and yeah, don't be afraid to send your.
Was it the first try? Did you have any test? Yeah, tell me more, because I'm very interested how the process goes.
Yeah, it was the third time when I got an answer from them, and I created, I made a test, an animation test, and I went through interview. Yeah, I waited for their decision for 6 months.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And after, it's on the third try. So the first 2 tries, you didn't get an answer, or they said to you to train. Oh,
I didn't get an answer. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good job. Kept knocking on that door until the answer that let you in.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
It's always like this. Studios rare always. I'm sorry.
Rarely, yeah.
Rarely send you a message back. Yeah. Maybe they're busy, very busy, or they're lazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Probably the first. Like thinking about the amount of stuff they like push out, all of the projects, probably like just really, really busy. That could happen.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of the advice for people who are sitting in the chat, like if someone didn't respond to you for the first time, send it again until you get something back. At least getting something back is bigger than just getting radio silence.
Yeah.
Any kind of specific like challenge or project, maybe something you were like in the school you remembered some kind of important lesson or something you try to keep, or maybe you remember any of the students sharing something like this with you. What would you say like was the most important lesson for you while you were in school, and kind of that reflected on the rest of the professional part of the journey?
It's a question for me.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of still here.
I don't know.
Maybe like keeping your arcs in check or something. Because for me, a big revelation was like in arcs.
Yeah,
Keeping
it's
them
one
good.
of the most important things. Yeah.
Yeah, I would usually when I would do like in betweens, I would try like going closer to either one or like the image before and after, and I kind of only in the school realized that's not how you do it. Nope.
And,
Julia. Oh yeah. Please
sorry,
do
sorry.
share. No, it's good.
Yeah, I remember this lesson that you need to start like very rough, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you create more like your animation will breathe
Mm-hmm.
with these rough lines. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's better
I get it.
to start rough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Julia, what was your experience after graduating the school? Any special challenges that you managed to resolve through stuff you learned at the school? Anything particular you want to share with us?
Well, I sorry I keep going off from Xenia's
No,
answers,
that's
but
what you're supposed to
it's
do. That's why we're all here together.
okay because that's a great lesson that and it's so awesome that Xenia worked at Cartoon Saloon. That's my dream studio as well, and I have not yet tried sending because I'm too scared. So that was a great advice. I should probably try doing that. Um, yeah. Um, and what was another
What
question?
was the question?
Yeah.
What did you do after graduating the school? I know you said you're still studying at CalArts, but maybe there's like a specific project you're personally proud of.
Um, yeah, well, I'm almost graduating, and I think I'm I'm proud of like getting the Pixar internship. I was not expecting that, especially since it's 3D, but they they do welcome like 2D people. They kind of teach you from from zero. They teach their
Mhm.
program, and it was a great opportunity to learn like about acting because Pixar's really awesome with acting.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I would like listen to everybody. It was like, wow, knowledge. Um, and yeah,
Exactly.
I'm proud of sticking with it, even though my brain struggles with 3D a lot. But yeah, they were all nice, and um, that I stuck with it even when I broke my foot as well. That's
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was an intern event that went badly. We went rock climbing.
As every intern does. You get to work that way.
Yeah,
It's a special intern like entrance. Could you
yeah.
tell actually you can skip the bad like story of breaking your leg if you don't want to share it. But if you can, share anything about how did you get into the internship? What did you do during it? Because I'm personally very interested. That feels like so like out of like such a distant world for me. So I want to know like, could you tell us more details if you can?
Oh,
And maybe
yeah, sure. Thank you for asking. Um, yeah, I just got I sent my demo reel, which was just fully 2D because I hate Maya and I'm never touching Maya ever again. Um, and yeah, I got to talk to them during portfolio day, which is a really it's one thing like very nice about Polaris that there is like a portfolio day where you get to talk with some studios. And I got to talk to them, and that kind counted also as an interview at the same time. So I didn't even have to do an interview later. They told me like, "Oh yeah, we chatted." I'm like, okay. Um, and yeah, I got to go there and stay. Um, yeah, stay nearby the studio, and it was like it's a classroom based internship, so it's like you're not really working on any production. You kind of get you just get like assignments, so pretty much, and
Oh,
you get
amazing.
yeah, you go from like a kind of bouncing ball, so all the way through fundamentals, all the
Mm-hmm.
way till the last assignment is like a dialogue with their characters. Yeah, and it was like just so great. We got to animate Toy Story characters. It's like, wow, get to do them.
Oh, amazing.
Crazy.
Is that shot from Oliver and the Company, the where you animated the two characters? Was that from the internship or it was something you did on your own?
Oh, that was during cards, one of the assignments, dialogue assignments. Yeah.
Because I really liked
I
it,
don't.
just wanted to ask.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but it wasn't really. I got to do some 2D only in the beginning, like the rough pass. They would say, "Oh yeah, you go 2D," and then you kind of match the poses to that. So that was really fun. Because they have their own program, the 3D program, and you get to like draw there. So that was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. Interesting. I was
Yeah.
always kind of interested what kind of programs they work in, but we can leave it. It could be a company secret. We're not supposed to discuss.
Oh, maybe.
Depends, yeah. We'll say it was Blender.
Yes.
It was Blender and it's free, and you can draw on it too. Yeah, it was definitely Blender.
And just last thing, what was I think the most helpful, like every Friday, pretty much the entire department would see our work and critique on it. That was great. And you just get all these like animators that have been there for like 20 years and they would give feedback. So that was great.
Very
and also
casual, no
stressful.
pressure.
Yeah.
I would be shaking. And I was talking about how I was like scared to share work for like one professor, and you had like a board of them.
Yeah, and I've never done 3D before.
Amazing. It takes some
That was
guts. Amazing.
But it was like super helpful. Just yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, that sounds so scary and so exciting at the same time.
Well, thank you for asking.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nat, do you have the original question, since we talked for a bit longer than we did before? What did you do after graduation? Were there any special projects you were proud of? Were there any special challenges, like animation wise, that you conquered because you got some insights from the school? You leveled up here.
Oh boy. Well, it wasn't too much of a time after I graduated.
I mean, yeah.
So it's only like about 2 years, like a year and a half. So yeah, I just started being a freelancer because I didn't see myself entering any kind of studio anytime soon.
You had enough.
Yeah.
Could you also talk a bit more? I wouldn't say like go into the details, but what's kind of the lesson you got from like previous experiences at the studio? Because you said you don't want to be a part of a studio for some while. How that happened? Only if you're willing to share.
Well, it would be just like an outline of the problem. A lot of workplaces have this type of stuff. It was just crunches all the time, and it was unhealthy. So yeah, and I worked 4 years in this unhealthy setting, and then it was like a couple of teams with the same mindset. So I decided that I would be on my own for a while, like give myself time to heal, and then maybe go back on different.
Fair enough.
Yeah, on different settings, I would say.
Different types, different projects.
Yeah. And so yeah, I am freelancer as of now. Not much to be proud of, because it's mostly like small projects, like ads or like small small cartoons, like for games, like kind of advertisements, but not exactly advertisement. And like nothing much. I learned how to explain stuff about animation effectively, because people who come to you like, you're 2D animator, yeah, I'm 2D animator, they know nothing and they just want something that is impossible, and you are like, you sit them down and you just explain what is going on, and why, how it could be possible and what is impossible. So yeah, it was a process.
Agree. Do you have any projects you're working on now? I remember the last two shots. Could you tell us a bit more where they're from?
Yeah, it was a trailer for a horror game. It's purely 2D horror game. Yeah, insane. It's like point and click and stuff. I think they didn't open
originally
it yet.
intended.
Didn't open it yet, and I think like this project is on pause because it's not the main project of the guy who like owns the game. So yeah, it's on pause. Here we are.
A shame. I've seen a couple of works that not included in the reel, especially like there's like one scene
Yeah,
where it's like a bunch of effects going. Oh my god. I'm waiting for the release. I'm waiting for the release date.
I think I will clean it up on my own already because it was like a couple months we've been waiting. I think I'll clean it up on my own. Maybe I'm not too good with like compositing stuff with effects, but yeah, I will Google something. I'll just make something.
Yeah, there's always place to learn. Exactly.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Well, we have been actually talking for quite some while. And now I think I have, the last question I think I wanted to ask. So we talked about your journey before the school. We talked about your time in the school, and we talked about the time after it. But if you could go like way back, maybe like a week or a day before you decided to join the school and start like learning to animate, or in Nat's case, getting like a more professional kind of at what you were doing already. Or I mean, it's completely applicable to everyone else. I'm just decided to add a little quip. If you could go back to, for example, day one, before you started joining the school, like the last day before you decided to do it, what kind of advice or motivation or you would give yourself or anyone who would be in your place like right now, thinking if they should start it, if they feel like something's stopping them, but they're not sure. But is there any kind of advice you're willing to give the future new students?
Just go. Please go. You really need this.
Like you have no idea how much knowledge you're gonna get. True?
Yeah, I talked about it with my husband today, and he also started to learn in our school. And we talked about that we spent our money on the courses, but it's always worth it. It's always worth it. Because you can buy some things like, I don't know, new laptop or new phone, but it's not worth it like as your knowledge.
Yeah, you get to keep the knowledge no matter the devices.
Books, and it's always more valuable for you.
Exactly. Oh, someone had like a very good comment in the chat that inspiration will get you started, but discipline will keep you going. Yeah, I kind of agree.
Nice.
Actually, I think the courses are a very good way to kind of build discipline because you're slowly kind of getting into a routine. You know, you have like a specific date, like deadline you work through, and you kind of build your like, what do you call it? Your learning kind of around a couple of dates, and it gets you. It got me a lot more disciplined. I'm very bad at learning on my own, and courses they kind of get you sorted out. You already pay for it, so you gotta do it. You gotta do it, or it's gonna burn off, and you're not gonna learn anything. So you gotta. I agree, Julia. if you could go back day one, what would you say for yourself? To yourself.
I totally agree with everything that's been said. Like just going. I think I wouldn't even have a chance at the like internship without Edward's courses, because that was like the core, the the core foundation that even like helped me get better. Yeah. I was thinking about something else as well, but I mean, I would tell myself to don't don't compare and be kinder to yourself and your work, and I'm still telling that myself. And I really hope that all artists would be kinder to themselves, like just find the fun in it.
Exactly. Yeah, I understand. But being kind is always also something we always have to kind of remind ourselves to, because we're sometimes our kind of worst, best and worst critic in some cases, because like we know ourselves the best. So sometimes reminding yourself that you have to be sometimes extra kind to yourself or your works, that not everything's going to be perfect. Yeah, I completely agree. Nat, do you have any advice you want to share? Looking back at your old self.
Best advice for myself would be don't be afraid to take out on a challenge. Because I was in a lot of instances just afraid to pick something more complex than like I did and I ended up doing. My reel could be much more impressive if I just go.
The person who, yeah, sure.
Come on. Yeah, it probably would have been like a bit unfinished by the end of the like this particular course, but yeah, the lessons I would have learned would be more valuable. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good kind of build up. Be kind to yourself, but also don't be afraid to take on an extra challenge. That's what you're here for. You're here to learn. So getting some of that extra kind of workout is always nice.
Yeah.
And I think we have a couple of questions. Well, we're kind of done with the questions. I've personally prepared what I wanted to ask, but we have a couple of questions from the chat. They're a bit open, so we'll chat about them a little bit. First questions comes from CG Plane, I believe, which is a little bit open, but I think we can maybe like water it down to a couple of points. I want to know the process of animation. This is the base question. I think you can tell us more what you kind of meant by that, but I think what are the key points when you're creating an animation, when you have a shot that you need to complete? What would you say were like very important steps in that journey from going from completely rough blank state to not clean, but like at least a tie down?
I would say that you need to record references and draw thumbnails. It always will be useful for you if it is a simple scene. It also will be useful for you, and yeah, you need to start like as much rough as possible and send it to director as soon as possible, because the director will get an idea from your rough animation. And yeah, also the tie down stage will take 80% of your time, and don't forget about it, because it's always frustrating to go to this stage because it takes a lot of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's it.
Very valid. Julia, would you like to add something on the process of creating an animation? Is there any specific like points in the whole process you try to keep like special attention at, or? Maybe there's like a favorite part of creating animation. You're like, it's probably for everyone's probably going to be like the first one where you do like the roughs. But
yeah, that's totally it. And yeah, I think Xenia said all the like the important stuff. Yeah, thumbnails, reference, just I was also like got some advice with like envisioning it in your head as well, like trying to like play it through when you like close your eyes. But yeah, just tie down will take the most time. And just like focusing on the appeal, the poses, on model. But, yeah.
Thank you. Nat, do you have anything to finish off the answers to the question?
Well, mostly everything is said already. So yeah, start rough. Maybe start with like a couple rough poses just to get an understanding what you actually want. Sometimes it's good to like set up your camera and just act it out. Some people do that and they just cannot without that. I mostly sit and just hallucinate about my animation, and I I can't do this action out. Yeah. So yeah, my started rough. Yeah, just don't bother typing anything down. Just do it. Everything else will come later.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. We have one more question from Danny CZM. When you, especially for the people who have studio experience, but that would probably be everyone except me. When you first started in a studio, how much work were you expected to deliver? Were there a set amount of seconds of animation to turn in during the week? Everyone had their own experiences, but you can say like a general if you don't want to go into specifics. How much stuff you needed to deliver? How often did you meet? Did you meet once a week? How the seconds were counted, basically.
Yeah, for example, at Cartoon Saloon, at all studios I worked on, we had a quota. For example, at Cartoon Saloon, it was 30 seconds in a month, or it was less. At the end of the production, it was less. It was 24 seconds in a month, but it always depends on a style and on studio, how pipeline is working.
Yeah, very dependent. Julia, do you have any special things you want to add from your experience? How often, if for example, how often would you meet with someone who, well, I'm not sure, we didn't talk a lot about the studio experience, but for example, on your internship at Pixar, for example, we can talk a bit more about that. Or if you have like studio experience on that question, you can also answer it usually. But like, how much would people expect to be done from like one review session to another, and like that?
I mean, I don't have like studio like production experience yet. I mean, that was like the internship was classroom based. But we had like a week and a week of like at the beginning assignments, and then there would be like 2 weeks, and then I think for the last one it was three weeks, but maybe 2 weeks as well. But yeah, I have yet to get a job.
No, don't worry. I was a brain fart. I was like, I started asking the question, then realized, oh wait. So all good. All good. You said you had more intervals before your assignments. Does that mean the assignments got like more complicated?
Yeah,
you need to do more stuff.
Yeah, because it started with like the basics, and then it got more complicated, so it got a bit more time. But yeah, like for every at the end of the week, there was like some like a level of completeness you had to get to. So they would and the feedback would be accordingly. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Nat, do you have anything you wanted to add to the answers? How much work you expected to deliver in your opinion? Or you could tell us like what was the best and worst quota you like got? How big are the difference between like different projects, you'd say?
Very, very big, like several times. I would say, like the worst quota I seen would be probably about like 60 seconds a month. It was shading. It was not animation. so yeah, it was rough. And the easiest would be like probably like 30, 40. It was like relaxed stuff. So yeah, difference could be like two times easily. And yeah, it's actually more than 60 months, because sometimes it would be work without weekends. So yeah, add 24 to that.
Oh wow. My condolences. I'm glad you're like doing everything more or less on your own terms. That's very good. That's also important for like, I think, artistic people. We get like so caught up in the fact that like it's work, the work isn't like this creative industry and you create these like magical moments and stuff, but you still have like workers' rights. You need to have like amount of hours maximum you need to work at. You need to have like a good pay, and asking for these things are also very, very hard, especially more time like goes on, people get laid off, you still kind of need to sometimes set the ground like I'm not gonna do this or that, even if you're not compatible with some studios. Well, maybe some people would choose going against kind of, but I don't think you'd survive for long if you constantly put yourself in the like on the front lines. You sometimes need to know when you need to stop and you need to rest.
I survived okay, for a year and a half, and then I started burning. Burnout is real, guys. Not a lot of, I don't think enough is talked about burnout. It's real and it's hard. Like I burned out, like I felt my first like big burnout in 2017, 2018, and I still have consequences. So guys, go into yourself, please.
It's important. You only have you. So if you burn yourself out, you know, it's like that's what you have.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Danny, we answered your question. I mean, we didn't give you like a lot of specifics, but I think you kind of get more or less the picture how it goes. And I think we have one more question, and I think we're gonna slowly go to the end of our session. So the last question is, how do I learn how to draw anatomy and animate in order to go to work on a project in the future? Well, I'm gonna go like first. I'll establish. You can always go to the link in the description and check our campus, because we have a lot of courses. We have a lot of free stuff you can start from to learn how to animate. I think we have a very good free course on a jumping cup, which basically explains all of those like basic principles you're going to learn and build upon on all of the courses throughout them. And of course, you can go to our courses, because the courses, they will start really soon. I think the one that's with 2D animation starts on 14th of February. So this is kind of the best time to sign up, because there's just enough time to solve all of kind of difficulties or any kind of stuff that come up during the way, so you can make it to your first class. But yeah, I would say courses are definitely way to go to learn. And maybe I'll add just another thing. Kind of personally, I'm involved in this. You can always go to our hub, to our Discord server, because we try to kind of introduce routines, especially practice ones. And on Sundays, every Sunday, we have figure drawing practice that we try to gather as regularly as we can. But usually we're there every Sunday to at least do like 30 drawings per week, which you can do a lot more, but I think that's a good start somewhere. Plus, you don't have to organize it. So, but I want to give also a word to the graduates. How did you learn and practice like animation and anatomy? If you want to respond, of course.
I had such practices as every morning I will draw like maybe 30 minutes or an hour. I will draw some poses, or I will copy animation from the masters. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
also good.
it's also a very nice practice. Yeah, to develop your skill. Yeah.
And doing it, you said you were doing like almost every day. So being like kind of disciplined with that was also very important. Not giving it up, just kind of pushing through. Juliet, Nat, do you have any special tips or tricks how to study anatomy or animating? Julia, you can go first. I saw you unmute the mic. So
Oh, I wasn't
I
sure
got
if
you.
Nat wants to go. But yeah, I mean, same with like the practices. I kind of studied anatomy on my own through like books and internet sources. I also did like 100 hands challenge. Like, yeah, I'll draw hands every day. Um, yeah, I think setting some challenges for yourself is also is a great practice.
Yeah, it kind of resonates with the answer of what would you give you advice in the school? Then Nat said like try to challenge yourself more. So I think doing challenges like these is also falling into the same category of advice, not being afraid to kind of challenge yourself and stuff like this. Nat, would you like to add anything?
It is for anatomy studies. Like I stole it from another course. Like I will not lie. So at that course, I've learned how to anatomy effectively, and we did a lot of these anatomical studies. We get these pictures of like shoulders, of like an arm, of like a torso, of a leg, and you just copy it and understand what muscle is doing what and how they're like connected. And after that, you just go and do your sketches. It's like joint studies. I could say that.
Yeah.
It makes it easier. Like for me, for a person who like functions like that, I have to understand how the thing works to draw it. Yeah, it helped me a lot. So maybe it will help you too.
Yeah, I agree. Copying muscles and like stuff like that is very important. I think there's like a very good book is called Anatomy for Sculptors, I think. They have very good practical and like very easy to understand. They go like part by part. Like they have, I think, like 20 pages for each like muscle and everything. Anything you need to know about the human body, I think that book has it. Of course, you shouldn't like limit yourself to one book. I think there's also what was his name? Jacob Matezi, I think, like Body and Movement. Also very good for studying animation. Yeah. You wanted to add something to the?
I think we have the same book.
I think it's Mike Matesi.
Mike Matezi. That's right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, I want to add something. I want to tell a secret that you don't need to know all anatomy, because you don't need these names of these muscles or bones. It's not important for an animator. The most important thing that you need to understand structure of the body and also how it works. And you can just use your body and, for example, take a step and analyze how you did it. That's it. You don't need the anatomy.
Exactly.
To know the names of the bone to know how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to be doctors. We don't need to fix like the bones and the muscles. We just need to know how it in general, like how it works.
Yeah, but at the beginning, I thought that I need it. I need
Yeah.
Not the
Can I add-
names, but the basic understanding of how it moves and how it joins together. Yeah, that is important. Names. Yeah, why?
Yeah. And also you just need to understand like basic shapes at the beginning, but then you can search for more information.
Oh, I totally agree, because I was at first intimidated by all the names. I was like, do I have to learn all that? Yeah, but totally agree.
Exactly. Well, we went through all of the questions in the chat. Hopefully, we managed to answer all of them. And I think this is an amazing note to kind of finish everything off on. I also wanted to say thank you for spending your time here and talking all about this. I have to point out again how lucky I am to just like have conversations with like such interesting and like skillful people. It's always like such a blessing to kind of be here and actively listen to what the people say, because I think it always like leaves a feedback, at least in my head. It's like that a little loop I remember stuff from, and keeps me going, keeps me what do you call it, inspired. So hopefully for the chat and other people who are watching this either live or recording, you would get after that inspired as well. So
thank you for inviting.
Yeah,
thank
you're
you.
welcome.
And yeah, this was so inspiring to listen to Xenia.
Exactly.
That it was
kitty cam. You can't see it because we have like a layout, but there's like a kitty on Julia's screen. Yeah. So I just wanted to say how interesting that people have, such different journeys, and, what led them to the 2D animation, like where they find themselves in kind of the world of it. So who knows, like maybe it's a start of a journey for someone in the chat, someone who's watching this right now, or like finally kind of deciding to change something and start something new that they always wanted to do. So, and I think the best kind of opportunity to start changing something is going to our courses. And the course in 2D animation is actually starting really soon on 14th of February. So I think this is the best time to join. Also because the times are slowly changing, the prices are kind of slowly rising as well, and we're pushing that as much as we can. But I think this is the best time to grab the courses while they still have the old good and cozy price tag they had before. So I don't think I have anything to add. I think we can finally roll everything to a close. I want to say thank you for all the people who've been watching, and all the people who've been watching, either watching this live and sending us comments in the chat or in the recording. You can also leave us a hi as well. It was very fun for me. I love kind of having these like talking sessions like this. And yeah, I don't think I have anything to add. I had a great time. Hopefully everyone had too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for organizing all this. This was amazing.
Yeah, try my best. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Leonardo. Well, I mean, it's already ended the stream, but I saw your thank you, so I wanted to give you like a special hi as well. And yeah, I think I said everything. We did everything, and we can finally say like bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. yeah.